A global recession is all but guaranteed, but not only do we have to deal with job losses, we have massive inflation and high interest rates as well. I'm not going to get into the definitions or point fingers because that actually doesn't help anyone. It doesn't even matter anymore. We just have to play with the cards we've been dealt. For many, this is their first recession. I was in school during the 2008 financial crisis. I heard about it, but it didn't affect me, or at least I think it didn't. As the cost of goods increase, business profits will go down. As interest rates go up, business profits will go down. You can't transfer 100% of the cost to consumers. At some point, they'll stop paying. Sadly, many businesses won't make it. A lot of companies will go under or severely cut staff to try to survive. Many people will lose their jobs in the next 2 years. I don't think Canada will be able to come out of this quicker than 2 years. The average recession is 18 months, I believe, but this one feels different. In order to reduce inflation, the government has to take money out of the market. Inflation is caused by too much money printing and too much spending. During lockdown, everyone was either saving money because they couldn't go out or was getting free money from the government because their jobs were lost. But there's no such thing as free money. We're paying for it now. Now, the only way to combat inflation is to take money out of the market, aka a lot of people will lose money, either through high interest rates, high taxes, or job losses, maybe a mixture of all three. The lower or middle class will obviously be hit the hardest. The middle class will slowly be eroded, and of course, the rich will stay rich. A recent example, since 2020, a company I may or may not have worked for, downtown Toronto, froze all employees' wages except the C-suite. I'll say that again. The bottom 300 staff had their wages frozen except for the top 5. The C-suite still got raises. Sorry for the long intro, but now on to the whole point of the video. How do Canadians prepare, or how does anyone prepare for a recession? I'll probably make a second video about what I'm personally doing during this recession because it's a little different. I can make recommendations for 2 different types of people. I know it's hard to predict now, but the recession will be different for people who think they will lose their job and people who think their job is safe. Healthcare workers are relatively safe. Personally, I think I'm pretty safe. On the other hand, tourism-related jobs or tech-related jobs might suffer mass losses. Here are a few things you could do to prepare and my explanation for each. First of all, pay off credit card debt. I don't think anyone should have any credit card debt, but if you've overspent recently and find yourself with a balance, get rid of that balance immediately. As interest rates rise, it'll be difficult to manage this debt. If you have no credit card debt, make sure you have an emergency fund, 6 months of expenses kept in cash or a high interest savings account. Again, I think an emergency fund is something everyone should have already. You shouldn't be hearing about it for the first time in this video. Next up, skip large purchases such as a house or a new car unless you have no choice. If you have decent transit in your city, why not think about selling your car if it's a possibility? I'm not telling everyone to ditch their car, but if you live downtown Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver, you really don't need one with the transit options available. The chances of you losing your job during a recession are much higher than during times of prosperity. So you don't want to suddenly increase your monthly cash outflows with these large purchases and then lose your job. You can't control the job loss, but you can control your spending and your purchases. If you already have a fund, no credit card debt, this one will hurt. Reduce non-essential spending. This will be news to a lot of people, but vacations are luxuries. They are needs, not wants. I hate recommending skipping vacations, but from a lot of people I meet through this channel and in life, they cannot afford vacations. A lot of people don't have an emergency fund, but they take a vacation. A lot of people think they deserve a vacation. Cool, that's great, you deserve one, but in a period of rising rates, rising costs, and potential job loss, many Canadians actually can't afford a vacation. What about your cash? Let's say you're in a good spot, you won't lose your job, and you've been skipping vacations and saving cash. What do you do with all the extra cash you have in your bank account? We're in a tough place for sure. If you keep cash, you're losing 7% in purchasing power just due to inflation. On the other side, if you invest in the stock market, you'll also be losing in the short term as stocks have been greatly decreasing in 2022 and may continue into 2023. My recommendation, if you don't need the cash in 3+ years, investing in stocks during a recession is technically the best time to do so. I've said this many times on the channel. The 2000 recession was a great time to buy. The 2008 recession was a great time to buy. Now in 2022 and 2023, it is a great time to buy. I promise in 5 years we'll be out of it. Millionaires are made during recessions, so many people that invested in 2008 had their investments increased by 5 or 6 times. Even though everything is down, everything is dropping. Literally, crypto's down 70%, houses are dropping. In Canada, it's like 30% housing decrease. Stocks are down. If you're looking at all the tech stocks, they're down 50 to 60%. It's scary, it sucks to see, but it's also a great time to invest. If you think about it, personally, I don't think Apple is going anywhere. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they're all taking hits, but they're not going anywhere. If you can invest for the long term, now is the time. Furthering this point about stocks in the stock market, don't sell your stocks at a loss. The majority of investors right now will be at a loss since a boatload of new investors jumped into the market after the March 2020 crash. It does suck to see red every time you've opened your portfolio. 3 years ago, I think I made a video saying I'm down $50,000 and here's why I'm not worried. I didn't sell, I held on. I've even invested more into the stocks and I rebounded within a few months. 2020 was rare. I don't think it'll rebound that quickly again. We may have to wait a little longer, but think about it. I don't think Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, unless there's another world war, I don't see them going anywhere. I would actually invest more if possible. If you sell your stocks thinking we'll go down some more, which we will, but you'll never be able to time it. If someone tells you sell your stocks now and buy at the bottom, it's so frustrating because you'll only know we've bottomed out until it's over and you've missed the boat again. My last recommendation, I don't want this video going on too long, I would get a side hustle, a side job, or any extra source of income. Try to earn money from crypto by staking. Try to earn from stocks via dividends. Try to earn from options via selling premium. If any of those don't interest you or they're too complicated, learn a new skill via online courses. If you have a house, maybe rent out a room. If you have a car, maybe consider Uber or Uber Eats. If you can add a few hundred extra dollars per month to your income, it'll greatly help reduce anxiety about rising costs. The government says inflation is up 6 or 7%, but everything I'm purchasing is up 20%. So since I'm not getting a 20% pay raise this year from my employer, I'm basically getting a pay cut. All my groceries are more expensive. Everything I'm buying is more expensive. I'm losing money. If I can get a side hustle that requires a few hours a week, but it earns an extra few hundred per month, I'm helping myself, I'm helping my bank account and my financial anxiety. That's it for this video. I'm trying to keep it basic, trying to not make everyone freak out. I'm going to make a second video on personally what I'm doing this recession or downturn. I already have multiple streams of income. I have a few businesses running now, so my plan might be a little more aggressive. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns and tune into the next one. That's all, folks.